Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I'm Peter Rosenberg. My guest today is Macklemore. Macklemore, how are you?
I feel unhealthy.
Why?
I had a steak last night,
Okay.
and I've been eating European food for like the last 2.5 weeks, and I feel like when you go to Europe, you get sick. When you come back to America, the food is so good here. The steak was so perfect.
That is kind of an
But I feel horrible.
It's an understated thing about Europe, right? It's because it's amazing and the culture's amazing, the language, the women, the food. Depends on the country.
Weird. It's a little weird. Like the steak just tastes different. The chicken tastes different, and not in a good way.
Well, no, because what people don't realize is that in America, the cages that we have the animals unhealthily stuffed into
are so tiny.
It gives it that delicious, unhealthy
They're
flavor.
so small, they can't move.
That's
just
the only
falls
way.
right off the bone.
I hate that free range shit. Okay, so the first thing I'd ask you is, I think the only time I've met you was at the freshman show.
Yep.
2 years ago or whatever, and I remember knowing a little bit about you then. I know my man Zach managed you. I knew things like that.
Yeah.
But I knew that you were hot in Seattle, and then I remember going up to Syph after you came out, and I was like, yo, this crowd is hot for Macklemore.
Really?
That was exciting at Best Buy Theater in front of like 1,500 people.
Yeah.
A couple years ago. Honestly, can you get into words what the whirlwind of the last 6 months has been like?
Well, for one, at that show, we were in a conversation, you and I, first combo, and you left the conversation to go talk to Don Tripp.
Do you remember that for real?
Yes, you kind of cool guy me.
No.
Yeah, it was slightly cool guy. It was like, word, yeah.
Oh, no. Well, hold on, can I give you the background on that? Do you know why I did that,
I did.
Because I totally dissed Don Tripp.
I know.
I had to make
So you had to squash the beef.
Yeah, it wasn't like I need to talk to Don Tripp. So.
Yeah, it was like, let's not get beat up by Don Tripp's entourage right now and squash the beef.
Wow, that is hilarious.
Yeah, so that happened, and then everything took off from there.
That was it.
Yeah, that was
the last time you got dissed.
Yep, that was it.
But seriously, I mean, was there one particular moment when you go, oh shit, it's on?
I mean, the tour cracked off in the fall. When Thrift Shop started to pick up, that was when it was like, okay, this is moving. The fact that we got played on the radio, which for the Heist, the album, we thought that we didn't have any singles at all. So the fact that Thrift Shop like started to get play.
Yeah, you turned out to have some singles.
It turned out it did okay.
Okay, so that was my next question though. So are you guys telling me that Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us were kind of just organic, what you thought would be up-tempo, fun songs for your audience? Did not think I'm sitting on 2 worldwide #1 smashes.
No, not at all. I mean, Thrift Shop was like this random, I thought that it had, the beat slapped, the hook was catchy, I was rapping on it, like it was a subject matter that I thought certain people would get, but in terms of like becoming this pop culture moment, hell no, not even close.
It was not on the radar.
It was not. We literally thought we did not have a single for the Heist, so we just put out a song that we thought we could make a fun video to, which was Thrift Shop.
What was the biggest record off of the album, the previous album? Do you have a record that made any?
I mean, we had an EP that 2 songs, a song called Other Side about drug addiction, and a song called Irish Celebration, were the 2 biggest off of the EP.
And Other Side is the one that's kind of held on the most that people.
Like we still do that,
yeah.
And we still do Irish as well.
Okay, previous to that, Seattle hip hop scene.
Yes.
One of the things I've liked about you, like I've had a real interesting relationship watching your ascent.
Yeah.
Because I knew I met you and liked you, knew you're managed by people that I like, knew that you'd been grinding for a long time, which is an instant win for old angry backpackers like myself.
Yes.
But it's funny because the music that came out and got huge isn't necessarily what people would qualify as like my type of hip hop, right?
Yeah.
But your story is my type of story.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always wondered about just how entrenched you were in like the Seattle scene.
I mean, I've been rapping since I was 15 years old. So it started with the scene that was like 200 people. And then it was like slowly grew. I mean, Mix-a-Lot popped off kind of before my time. I mean, like he was like late 80s, early 90s. I was a young ass kid. But in terms of like Seattle hip hop, like I grew up, writing graffiti and, you know, trying to break dance and beat, you know, every
Do you
single
know Jake
element.
One?
Yes, that is my friend.
Do you know DJ Topspin?
Yes, that is my friend as well.
I figured. I'm almost out of people in Seattle that I actually know. Have you met Mix-a-Lot yet?
Of course, yeah.
You know him pretty well.
You know, we've kicked it a couple different times. We actually brought him out a couple years ago. We did like 3 nights at a historic venue in Seattle, and we
Which
brought
is
him
what?
out.
What's
It's called the Showbox.
Okay.
And you know, it was the first time that we'd done like 3 nights at this venue, and we brought him out, and he played like My Posse's on Broadway, and passed me the hip hop Seattle torch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that your number 1 Mix-a-Lot song, Posse on Broadway?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
It's the cut.
don't get me wrong. The Put 'Em on Glass video was crazy.
Great titties in that.
I mean, yeah, amazing.
But the thing about that is that he can actually like spit exactly how he was spitting. Like he literally, like the inflection, like he's completely got it still.
Do you know Kid Sensation?
No, I don't. Does he even live in Seattle anymore?
You ain't hip hop.
No, I ain't
I knew
hip-hop.
it. I fucking knew it.
There
I
it is.
knew it. I
You
was
fucking
waiting.
Pop star bastard.
Yeah, Thrift Shop. Can't hang with Kid Sensation. So has it been like nuts though? Like, I mean, it is a pretty interesting transition. Like, because for me, I guess it was like this thing of like I've known who Macklemore was for a while.
Yep.
Liked him, cool. I remember when you sent me like the clean album, like I was like, oh, what do I want to play off this? And I ended up playing Same Love. I was like, I fucked with the message. I liked the song. Started playing it. And then the conversation started about like, what do you think about Macklemore? From people who don't have hip hop conversations with me. So I'm like, hold on, what the fuck is going on with Macklemore? And then my brother hits me and is like, yo, you know this song Thrift Shop by Macklemore is like the biggest song in the world. And I swear to you, I didn't even really know it yet.
Yeah.
It had hit already at pop before it had hit here.
Yeah.
So was there a definitive? I know that I talked about the moment. It's with Thrift Shop, but have you stopped to be like, this is weird? I've surpassed, in a lot of senses, in fame and some sales success. You've already surpassed a lot of the people you looked up to.
Yes. That is weird. That's absolutely weird. I think that looking back, being that it's like July right now, looking back at the beginning of the year when it all happened, the fact that you can say that we had the biggest record in the world for like 3 months is crazy. I mean, like I'm like you, I'm like an underground hip hop head. So to think that I was ever even played on the radio blows my mind, and to think that that song actually like turned into a international smash is just bizarre.
And then I think we don't know what the future of Same Love is. Like, even though it's a big song now, I think what its ultimate meaning is based on the timing and significance of it. I think we don't even know the full story on what Same Love is going to mean to people. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I texted you this, but I swear to God, I've watched the video like a handful of times, and I've literally cried at the video every time I've watched it. I don't know what's wrong with me.
I don't think you texted me. You told.
I think
you texted me that you cried.
Maybe I decided to keep it to myself. Me and my wife sat there. I was like, honey, have you ever seen this video? Because when you played it, she didn't really know the song. When you played it at Bonnaroo, she was like, this song is amazing. So I was like, you got to see the video. The video's And shout out to Ryan, who does a amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, he Hollywooded us for the interview. You know, I understand. But no, he's. Where's Ryan today?
He's working.
You know what? I'm gonna give you a pass, Ryan, because your videos are so fucking dope.
It was really my fault.
Yeah, you wanted the light.
Yeah, I was like, man,
like,
let me get the shot on this one.
Come on. Jazzy Jeff didn't come to Freshman's to everything.
Exactly.
You got to get tossed out of the house by Uncle Phil every once in a while. But yeah, the video just really, I don't know, it's just super duper touching. And I mean, when you're writing that song, do you go, okay, I'm going to be the first rapper to ever speak on this issue, which is a notoriously handled notoriously whack in the hip hop community historically?
Yeah. That's a quote right there. Handled notoriously whack in the hip hop community.
That's the only way you can put it, right?
Yeah,
like,
straight up. You have to use whack.
Well,
if it's true, it's true. It's been horrible. Yeah, I knew it. I mean, I can't front and be like, I had no idea that like no one else had brought this up. Yeah.
right.
Like I knew the significance of it as I was writing it. It took me like many revisions to get there, to be like, okay, how can I as like a straight man approach this subject and be real and genuine about it and be vulnerable? And
you did that as the first line.
Yeah, in terms of the first line, that was like the most like, I mean, I think that like 25% of the world still thinks that I'm gay because of the first line.
100%.
Like I get tweeted all the time like, are you gay?
It's so awesome, but it's totally what makes the song. It is brilliant because it's what makes the song identifiable for people. And I think,
absolutely.
Speaking as another straight man, if I was gay, I'd like to think that I would have been touched by that line, because it does really, it really goes to a place. Not only do you make the song, but by even in hip hop, we know, some people may not know, we know, even like saying thought I was gay, if I was gay,
oh yeah,
is taboo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
do you think? To me now, the countdown is on. I will say this: I think that, and I'm sure you agree. In some senses, it was probably easier for it to be a white rapper to do it first before a black rapper's to do it. But now the countdown is on to when the first black MC is going to tackle it, because that's a different set of challenges.
Sure. I mean, I think that Rocky has been like an advocate.
He's been close. He's
yeah, but I mean, like, he's come out and been like, my homie Jeremy Scott's gay. Like, I don't have a problem with gay people. Like, it's all good. I mean, I've had conversations with many people, and I'm not going to, like, many of my peers about this issue. I'm not going to put them on blast because I think that people should support it when they want to support it. But I've seen Rocky in the public come out and be like, you know, these are my homies.
Yeah, he did on the show. He came. I asked him right on the show. I mean, it's an issue that I've always tried to ask artists about, and then it was just like kind of mind blowing to see someone actually take the step. It's also mind blowing that it is mind blowing in 2013. Seems a little crazy.
Yeah, that it's. I mean, people are just scared, man. That's what it comes down to. People are like really scared of how other people are going to perceive them. And for me, and I think that, you know, Rocky as well, it's like artists that push the envelope of what is like, you know, culturally acceptable within hip hop, that what falls under the parameters of what hip hop is and what it is. And it's like those rules are old and outdated. And, you know, this is an issue of equality and humanity, and let's put that at the forefront and not worry about like what the internet's going to say about us. Like, well, I don't give a fuck. I'd rather change people's lives than like care about what Rap Radar comments are going to say.
No, how dare you? The Rap Radar comments are very high end. No, commenters on YouTube are the bane of all existence.
The worst. Absolutely.
Yeah, you people affect nothing. Sorry. Unless you want to comment positively on this video, thumbs up.
Thumbs it up.
Yeah, this is a great one. I think in an odd way, Tyler is going to end up doing something for this issue too, which seems so backwards. But I think it's like when people didn't understand that, like, they use the F word all the time. Yeah. And they're like, oh, well, that's really weird. It must be homophobic. But then you realize Sid, the kid, is gay.
Frank Ocean.
And Frank Ocean's gay. And you're like, so Odd Future is doing their own thing, too, in a different, with the kids.
Yeah. It's interesting. I met Tyler in Europe a couple weeks ago, and
everyone's meeting. All the rappers are meeting this summer in Europe.
It's like, yeah. I wanted to bring it up to him. I just forgot. But I'm going to see him again in Europe, I'm sure.
Yeah. Was he cool? Did you guys have a good conversation?
Yeah, we did. We did. And then he like Instagrammed the picture and was like, regardless of what you think about Macklemore, he's winning right now. Like, fuck you, Tyler.
Yeah, because he knew what his fans would say about a picture
exactly.
of you. Yeah, he knew.
I'm like, regardless of what you think of Tyler's ears, you can't tell me that he can't rap. Like, what's up with this?
Did you, does that bother you though, as the white MC who can rap? I'll keep it real with you. When my friend Lindsay's up here, I want to talk about her in a second, but she was playing me her album. She's like obsessed with your stuff, and she's like a white girl from Virginia. And I said, when I listened to the whole album, I'm like, some of it is for me.
Yeah.
He as an artist, I fuck with. Yeah. Like I find you completely captivating as a rapper. I just find you like, I'm interested in what your next word's gonna be.
Yeah. Thank you.
That being said, this is like the Louis C.K. thing. But you are like in this moment the quintessential friendly to white adults rapper.
Yes.
And you know you're that guy.
They love me.
They love you.
They love me.
Your bar mitzvah.
Shout out to you white grown-ups.
Like, see you are like bar mitzvah music all day. You know what I'm saying? You're easy. You're friendly.
Are they spinning the record at bar mitzvahs?
Oh, heavy.
That's
I haven't
dope.
been to any yet because that would be weird if I frequented bar mitzvahs. But
we were getting booked for bar mitzvahs a while ago. That was dope.
But how do you feel about that? As dude who's kind of a hardcore hip hop head, do you mind being the friendly to adult white people rapper?
You know, it's interesting to me, and you know, I think that like particularly as a white rapper, for any rapper, but particularly as a white rapper, you don't get to pick your fan base. Like, that's what it comes down to. And what's more important for me is rapping about the issues that I want to rap about and things that are important. And if that gets me like an adult fan base, if it's kind of like the NPR crowd that's like, wow, he's saying something different and this is intellectual hip hop. I mean, I think a lot of that shit is stupid in terms of like the box that they put you in, but I'm going to make the music that I want to make. And I'm not going to be like, oh shit, now I need like the hood cosign. Like, what am I going to do? Like, urban radio's not fucking with it. Like, those are things that we think about, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to change the music that I make just to appeal to a demographic that we don't necessarily have.
But isn't it bizarro that, truth be told, I know we came from the same ilk, the same age group.
Yeah.
People like you and I care about, no matter what we say, especially initially, being embraced by a black audience.
Absolutely.
It's very important, right?
Absolutely.
So then, naturally, because white people love white people, because your music has a certain thing that connects with people, you got embraced by the pop world. But then we at Hip Hop Radio came and took you back, which I find really, it's just been a kind of crazy tale of where Macklemore kind of sits in the stupid boxes that we put our hip hop.
You know, I think that, again, being a white rapper, you immediately are going to get like placed in the box. You're immediately going to be corny. Like that's just like the first place that you go. If you're white and you rap, you're corny. And I do it too. Like I, for the most part, don't like white rappers either. I think that most white rappers are corny. And I think that, there's a selected few that aren't, and those are the people that, are doing it.
Are doing pretty well.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So there's this immediate suspicion. And, there's the way that I look, and there's all of a sudden this song blows up, and this thrift shopping, and all these kids are singing the song, and white adults. There's a bunch of reasons why all of a sudden the hip hop community is like, hold up. Like, hell no. And if they only know that song or Can't Hold Us, then it's even easier to like put me in that box and keep it there.
So funny too, because Thrift Shop is also so antithetical in the sense that it's about being thrifty. I mean, you didn't really just make a song with a cute chorus. You really do kick some shit that's like, yo, if you buy shirts to get pussy, you're whack.
Yeah.
That's you basically come right out and say it.
Yes.
So, do you feel like a hypocrite on the day when you feel like buying a $100 shirt? Because there have to be days when you're like,
I don't think I bought a $100 t-shirt.
Not t-shirt. What about the $80 polo? I mean, the $80 polo is pretty standard for a nice company.
I'm not getting the polo.
Expensive shorts?
If I rock the polo, I'm straight like the yacht frat boy. So I'm not going with the polo.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. You do have that skin. Your hue will take you right there.
I'm there.
Especially if it's like a small size.
Oh, it's done.
You're in
I'm
a
done.
frat instantly.
Absolutely. So no, I'm not buying the polo, but
you have some taste, though. You can hear it in the song. You like Cadillacs. You like, there's something
yes,
you like that's
I
nice.
like nice things. I like nice things because they're nice, not because of the logo that accompanies them, except for Jordans.
Which is a completely different rule.
Which is another song that I have that I break all the time.
Okay, so I do want to tell you real quickly about my friend. So my friend Lindsay came to visit me, and Lindsay, beautiful chick who I used to try to smash, but now she's my friend.
Yeah,
she's staying in my house with my wife. But anyways, she has this pretty rare illness called dysautonomia. It's like a total breakdown of like every function that your body's supposed to do. Your body's just like, fuck off, I'm not doing any of that shit. Yeah. So she actually brought her wheelchair, which she wants you to sign. So you're going to sign her motherfucking wheelchair.
That might be the first wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah.
Lindsay, you could be the first wheelchair. But it's funny because she was basically saying, even though there's nothing on your album that speaks to specifically what her situation is, that a lot of things you say on the last couple albums, whether it's your issues with addiction and things like that, you really do speak to her when she's having tough times. You really speak to her. Your music does that.
That's really dope.
Have you heard that a lot from people that you speak to the issues they're dealing with in life?
Yeah, I think that it comes from putting yourself on blast, being a human and showcasing all aspects of like your personality. And that's what I think people connect with. Like I make fun music, I make party music, I make music that's like going through it and introspective, and I try to make music that pushes the envelope and makes people think and puts me in an uncomfortable place. Like
talking about dick size,
all that.
No one does that. No one says I don't have a huge dick on records. Yeah. Now, granted, you wouldn't straight up come out and say I had a small dick. But
no, hell no.
No, hell no.
Because it's not true.
But it is true.
It's medium to large.
It's medium. I like that you said you gave a
medium
shout out.
/ large.
You gave a shout out to everyone who's from small to just slightly above average. I like that you left that large gray area, just so you can put you in there wherever you're supposed to go.
Exactly.
With the addiction thing, how long you been clean? Everyone has their date. I thought everyone instantly comes out.
I know.
631 days, 12 hours.
I know. But you know what? I'll say this. I got sober in 2008. I relapsed. I've had a couple little dudes, little run-ins, but I haven't smoked weed or drank alcohol since 2008. And I'm doing good. Like, I've had some moments. This year has been a challenge. Not for that, but just a challenge mentally, adapting to all of a sudden you don't have a personal life. All of a sudden, like, you can't go out on the street without taking pictures and the scrutiny of everything. And I mean, having that number one record in the country comes with its advantages and its disadvantages. You know, you have everyone that's like scrutinizing the shit.
Do you feel guilty complaining about those first world problems when you're like, fuck, I'm just so popular, I don't have any, but it's real, but those problems can be really annoying.
I honestly don't feel guilty. I understand people might be like, fuck you, because I was like, fuck you to all the rappers that used to bitch about it, and I like watch the internet and be like, you know, God, if I only had a quarter of that. But it just changes your reality. And it's great, and then there's also the bitch of it. Like, you would just wish that you could turn it off. So
did you have to be so pale? Like, you're so recognizable. Like that.
It's the hair, man. That's why I got the hat.
Does the hat help?
Oh yeah. It's not like foolproof by any means, but it like takes it down significantly.
Because with the hat, you could just go, that guy looks like Macklemore.
Exactly. Or powder. One of the two.
Okay, real quick, in no particular order, but 5 of your favorite MCs that most influence you.
Kanye. Like right now?
All time.
All time is so different.
I know.
All time is just like you end up with like the 5 that everyone picks.
Is Talib a big influence on you?
Yeah, Talib was. Talib definitely, like, for many years was somebody that I would put in my top 5.
I just hear, there are things of him that I hear in you.
Yeah.
In the way that you use words.
Yeah.
You use a lot of words. You use more words than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, you're conversational on songs where, like, it's not like you have to make out what you're saying. You're able to succinctly rap and be on beat and have soul, but you can fully understand what you're trying to communicate, which is a Talibish quality.
Yeah. I think that, you know, the Black Star album and Reflection Eternal are 2 classics. I mean, I love, like, the classics in terms of, like, the overall, like, you know, you got Biggie and Pac and Nas and I don't know, 3 more. But right now, I think the more interesting question is, like, right now, who am I inspired by?
So who inspires you right now?
Kendrick. I like TD. I'm just going to put TDE as one.
Do you think Kendrick's the number 1 dude in the world right now? Absolutely. That is because that's a lot coming from you, because you're someone that other people would put in that conversation of high up in the world right now.
I think that Kendrick is, Good Kid, Mad City is a phenomenal album. I think that just his technical ability, his songwriting, melodically, I mean, if you just go through like the MC like checklist, he's just qualifying very high for the job.
And everything.
In everything.
Critical acclaim, respect from peers, popularity.
Yeah.
3 singles that have no business. Okay, for example, your singles, we can't, even though it's absurd that they became hits because it's just so crazy, and who were you before, right?
Yeah.
It's nuts. But they make more sense as hits, frankly, than when you look at the fact that Swimming Pools is a hit. Like, when you hear that song, I still hear nothing about a hit to Swimming Pools.
It's not. It never was a hit record to me either.
And yet, you look up and it was a hit record. He ended up having 3 records on that album that were hits that just didn't have a place because he's that dope.
I don't know if I would call any of those hits.
Oh, well, listen,
no, not because of that.
We can't all have Billboard #1 singles.
Not because of that. I mean, I know that they did like well at Urban, but did any of those go gold?
I don't know. I don't know if anything went gold. Swimming Pools, Poetic Justice, and what's the other one I'm forgetting? What is it? Don't Kill My Vibe.
Isn't there one
that's
more?
A great song.
But my point is that to me that's dope. The fact that he's about to beat us to platinum.
Worldwide, he's at 1.6. What are you at worldwide?
I don't know.
More than that worldwide.
More than that, Kendrick. No, because I told him, I saw him at Bonnaroo, and I was like, man, I'm racing. I'm racing you. You might not know that I'm racing you, but I'm racing you. And I think he's going to beat us by like a week or 2.
But that for you,
platinum.
See, I can already tell, but with the amount of respect you have for hip hop, I know you must be honored just to be there, because Kendrick is like,
hell yeah.
He's fucking, he's going to be one of the all-time G's of this game.
He already is. I mean, like, he dies tomorrow to me. For one, he's got a shit ton more music. He's just like prolific. Like he's got the studio and the bus, and he's just, every time I see him, I'm like, fuck. Gotta step my game up.
Kendrick is all
because he's always working, man.
And that Schoolboy
and you can hear that.
Crazy.
Yes, the Q album's gonna be dope, super dope. He's one of my favorites.
You got Q and Absol on your album, right?
Yep.
Why did you try to get Kendrick, or was it a schedule thing, or is it just how it worked out, just organically?
I think I texted Kendrick to no avail.
He can
if
be
I
no avail.
remember correctly.
He can be a no avail. He can be like a 48-hour replier on text message.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Although maybe it's just the white people. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of that experience.
No, I mean, this was like before I like became, cool with him. I mean, I knew him, but like it was before we became friends, and he, I don't know if we tried or not, but Q was the homie from a couple years ago, and then I met Ab through Q, and that whole TDE camp are just good people.
Yeah, they're good people, literally from management, from top dog all the way through.
Yeah, they're just good folks, and they make great music, and I think that if you're come from the school that we come from, like there's so many things to admire about what they've built, and the fact that, and that's my point about that it's almost doper that Kendrick didn't have any like smashes to propel that album. It's because it's built on like, it's a conceptual record. It's like no one does that anymore.
I said something off the air today that I'm going to say on the sake of this video and get killed for it, but we were talking about the Jay-Z albums, and I was like, I said, listen, guys, the fact is Magna Carta, Holy Grail is okay, but as much as I think Jay is probably the greatest of all time, he doesn't make the greatest albums of all time. That's just not where I get that's not what I get from Jay.
Yeah.
And then I said, you could make the case, that Kendrick's already made a better album than Jay-Z's ever made. You could, if you wanted to have a good old hip-hop argument, you could say Good Kids, Mad City is up there with Reasonable Doubt, The Blueprint, and everything else he's ever done.
I would agree.
And it's a fun conversation to have.
I would agree.
I have to ask you about this before you're at Hot 97, so we're going to make you're going to have to rap. So we're going to have you spit these flames. But before that,
spit them bars.
You may be the only white rapper I know who so acknowledges that you're white and that it's sort of a privilege to participate in the culture. And like, you do that quite a bit. And for me, it's just like music to my old ass years. I know kids these days, like I said, they don't care as much about shit like that. And I congratulate and applaud people who grew up in a time where racial shit.
They don't see race.
Yeah, they don't see it. You guys are post-racial and it's amazing. For us, it was never post-racial. We were the white boys sticking out back in the day. It was a different thing. And I think it's really cool that you acknowledge that your experience is different and that you don't try to speak to things that isn't shit you don't identify with.
Yeah, I mean, it's an issue that's like, it's the equivalent. I mean, it's pushed under the rug. Like people don't talk. Like M's talked about it in the past. It's something that everyone kind of like tiptoes around. It's like, of course, you're gonna talk about being a white rapper, but in terms of like actual white privilege, and in terms of the culture and the origin of how hip hop started and just the appropriation and all that, it's things that people really shy away from because they're very challenging conversations to have. Like there's the race issue in general, the race conversation is an awkward one, particularly for white folks. Like it's one that everyone's like, I don't know if I want to talk about this shit. And
I don't like acknowledging that we have it better than everyone else.
Yes, exactly. Right. We don't want to say that shit.
No one likes that.
So for me in the past, it's been an issue that, at the very least I can bring up and hopefully facilitate dialogue. But it's interesting that, just the way that the whole thing played out with the Thrift Shop and Can't Hold Us and with pop culture embracing it. It's interesting that, I mean, in 2005, I wrote a song called White Privilege that really, in my opinion, still stands the testament of time in terms of its very relevance still in 2013. Talking about very different issues back in 2005, but they're very applicable to 2013.
Does it scare you that there could be a time soon when you have white artists rapping about their white life experience in front of an all-white crowd, and that's called a hip-hop show? Does that in any way freak you out a little bit?
Yeah, that's where the white privilege was written from in 2005. I mean, I was like looking around. I think it might have been like a Dead Prez show or some shit, or like a Talib show in 2005, and I was like, damn, like this is way different than 1999. Like when I first started to go to shows, this is like all white people, and what is happening? I mean, that was when I first started to go to shows. That was before Eminem came out, and that really, and I wasn't around for the Beastie Boys, so that was like the changing of the guard. That was like middle America floodgates opened up.
You're into rap.
Yes,
you're here.
Absolutely. Yes. And I remember just starting to go to shows and being like, damn, I used to be like, one of 15 white people. Now it's like there's 15 black people.
I know.
This is crazy.
So it only gets so. I didn't really mind that part. Like, it bothered me, but there's also that immature part of you that's like, I want to be the only white guy who likes rap, right? We all go through that.
We all have that.
Right. So we all go through that.
It never leaves us.
Right. It never goes away. You see why the white people are like, really? Come on. But it gets much weirder when it goes from being a collection of white people there to see a black rapper perform, and they're trying to be exposed to black culture, to when one day you go, is it all white kids just being exposed to other white people? That's kind of, it's something I have very mixed feelings about.
It's weird. And, for us, there's certain cities that are like that. Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't say like 100%, but that are predominant. I mean, our shows are predominantly white anyway, but like that are like, damn, like, oh, there's a person of color, there's one, and there's 7, but that's it. Depending on what state you're in. We come to New York and it's very diverse. You go to like LA and San Francisco and it's very diverse. But there's like some middle of America states that are like, wow.
So what? And do you think those people aren't going to a show of a black rapper? Some of the people there? Do you think you'd be the only rap show some of those people would go to?
I think it's a small percentage. I don't think that like, I mean, you get that. Like, you're the only rap that I like. Like,
which is, by the way,
the worst.
The worst.
You
never. Him and Eminem never want to hear that.
No, right? Ever. Don't ever tweet me.
There's
that
something
again.
I relate to about you, but I can't put my finger on it.
Yes, exactly.
By the way, incredible that the lineup you picked for your American tour, your U.S. tour. So what's the date on what's the start date for the U.S. tour? Do you know what that is? I know you're in New York, November 13th. You're at Madison Square Garden Theater, but Big Crit and Talib on the tour. So I just think it's awesome that you're going to be exposing your newfound audience to some dope dudes.
I mean, to me, that's what it's about, and that's like a place that you can use like what pop culture has built you up as to like, put on for the people that put you on in the first place. I mean, like Talib was a huge influence on me. Like, Crit's one of the dopest, most slept on MCs out there. We're taking Chance to Europe. Like, Chance is one of my favorite. Yeah, to finish that 5 MCs thing, Chance is definitely like one of the people that I'm really excited about. So, with the radio play and with the exposure, I think that I'm excited to put on for people that put me in this position.
Did you ever open for Kweli before?
No, he brought me up on stage for like a freestyle, and like I've done that, like we've done that for the last like maybe 6 months. Good dude.
Crit's a great dude too.
Yeah, so I don't know Crit as well, but yeah, Talib is a great dude. Yeah. Crit, from what I know of him, he's super
awesome.
Nice.
Great intellectual rap talks can go with Crit too. Yeah, a lot of nerd rap talks.
That's all I talk
Chance
about.
too. Chance.
Yeah.
If you get a minute, me and Chance did an interview like that. We did like 30 minutes a few weeks ago, and we go in some good N-word white people talk, like some good cultural shit.
What was that about?
That was about me saying a lot of. I think that people's reaction to the N-word is changing. The kids view it in a different way than I do. Like Tyler and them don't even care when white kids say it.
Neither does like Q and Ab and
right. Yeah, but Chance isn't like that. Chance is like
good.
Chance is very uncomfortable with it. So he talked about when there are like groupies backstage who are white and then they use the N-word.
God.
So it's just an interesting conversation.
And
he talks about knowing the president. Do you know Chance knows the president?
Really?
Yeah. So random. Like I jokingly was like, "You're from Chicago, know the president?" He was like, "Yeah, no, I do." It's pretty crazy.
Damn.
Hey, this has been a real pleasure.
Yeah.
Been excited. I've been excited to get this. And by the way, I want you to know you're in the category now. A year ago, when did I first try to get the interview with him to happen? Like 9 months ago or something like that? It was a while ago. Back then, you would have come up, people were like, "Oh, cool. I think I heard of that guy. Macklemore, he's one of the freshmen. That's tight." Today, you're officially in the zone of like there are extra people around and people like Macklemore's coming up now. And there aren't many people. I'm telling you, out here for every interview, there's only like 10 people a year maybe where it's like they're coming up today. Like there's Macklemore's coming up.
I made the top 10.
Yeah.
What?
And you're going to see Angie now, so you truly have made it. All right, let's spit these bars. You want some flames?
Spit these flames.